Hello and a very good afternoon. Today is a special day where we have one of the guys that have played a vital role for me, especially when it comes to football. I remember some years ago I was focusing on sports science in general, but a lot have been said concerning him when he introduced me to this beautiful game. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Wilson Mutekede.
Thank you. Nice meeting again.
Wonderful. As
Compliments,
always.
compliments of the new season.
Definitely. Okay. I think would like to just go back a bit. Maybe many people would like to know whom Wilson Mutekede is. A lot of, I always say, unless the lion is able to write its own story, it will always be called the king of the jungle without other animals involved, because it's people who's writing. So even if you're not be able to tell your own story, that's why with all these books we are trying to tell our own stories, and I would recommend you to also to write a book. There's a lot that I know you can share to the world, because I can say I'm a product of you when it comes to football. But anyway, back to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Nyasha. Very, very interesting, and what a coincidence. Would you believe it that this is the first platform or the first interview that I've heard where I'm asked to speak about myself? With the history of football stretching way back since 2009 in terms of 2008 in terms of involvement into Premiership, I've never had an interview where I had an opportunity to speak about myself.
Wonderful.
This other day I was driving from Mashengo and I was passing through Mvuma, and what came into my mind, I not shared this with you, is the story, is the interview that you conducted with I think Aris Bunjera on TV.
Yes.
I listened, I watched it, and as I was passing through Mvuma, and I started recalling that interview, and
Yes.
it was so interesting, and I was driving alone.
Yes.
And it was raining, but what replayed was that interview. I said, so this is the place where Nyasha grew up, and there was playing football against the local schools, and it was so getting into this interview. It's only amazing that you are the first one to provide this platform for me.
Wonderful.
Anyway, to cut the long story short, Wilson Mutekede was born long back in the Lowveld. Grew up there. I was born a few meters away from Gibbo Stadium.
Okay.
In Triangle, and I grew up there. In 1979, my father moved from Triangle into Hippo Valley.
Okay.
And that's when then I attended my primary school. Briefly went home rural to try and balance life. Those times. The parents always wanted a kid who has balance in terms of rural and urban.
Definitely.
So briefly went rural and then came back to Hippo, but then started playing football. Junior level. Under 13, under 12, under 14, then it was still in even.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in the same stream with the likes of Kevin Masimbe and Harrington Shereni, who were in the same team.
Okay.
And a number of them, Tinashe Boramu, a lot of them. Godfrey Tamirep and them were ahead of us.
Okay.
So I then played football, and I think at junior level, we managed to play Chibuku Trophy semi-final, I think.
Okay.
And it was national. We went as far as Chibuku Trophy semi-final, and we played at Baba Fields against Islanders under 14.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the stream of Peter Ndlovu and them.
Wonderful.
So it was Chibuku Trophy semi. We actually curtain raised a game between Caps and Islanders, I remember. And by then we were so young, and it was so exciting. I even recall the first hotel that I did put up in Bulawayo, which was Waverly Hotel.
Wonderful.
So from then on, because I was also quite a bit academic, and I managed to then pass my O levels with a clean sitting. Then it was strictly Cambridge. but because I was ahead of my group, I could not then hang in with my group at school because I had to quickly move out of the high school. And this then prompted me to sort of like take a bit of a break in terms of football. But after 1 year or so, I then joined United Nations.
Okay.
Yes, United Nations High Commission for Refugees. But because I was a football person through and through, I went there and started playing football.
Wonderful.
And the very most exciting thing is I never stopped doing football.
Wonderful.
I then started assisting, setting up structures for refugees to start to play football within the camps in the eastern side of the country. And when it started as just a game that was played in one camp, then I spread it out to the other camp that was close to, was Mazoe River Bridge refugee camp. Then it spread out to Nyamombe, it spread out to Tongogara refugee camp, and it spread out to Chambuda. And within a short space of a time, there was inter-camp competition. And what is very, very exciting about that, out of the games that were played, 3 players, when they were repatriated back into Mozambique, they then managed to go and play the Premiership, and one actually moved to Portugal from the refugee camps where I initiated this game. So
wonderful.
I never stopped, I couldn't do anything outside football. And I had many nicknames. There was a time, this was a time when Cheche Billiard was also on the peak of his game, and they nicknamed me Cheche Billiard because I was also playing then.
Wonderful. At
the same time, Division 1 teams were getting me into Mashara and Central. they would just come and pick me and I would play from work. But then I then joined UNICEF again as we were doing a survey in Mashonaland East. Every time we managed to get to a football pitch, we'd play football. And meanwhile, the All Africa Games, anything that was football, especially the national team, I always found myself in the capital to watch the game.
All right, it's so exciting to hear that. There are 2 things that I like most. Number 1 is the Low Veld. I was actually born in Cherezi, Tsovano, some years ago. And number 2, it ties with what we are trying to look at through our first series in the series that we are looking at over the coming years, which is the integration of coaching and also the other area, which can maybe we can call more like multitasking in a way. I had the United Nations, I had other areas, but still playing football. But if you were to go back in those years, parents wouldn't want their children to play football. Why? Because definitely it was likened to those guys maybe who are not smart enough, and maybe the characters of the present day football. How did you manage to integrate the football side and also now the corporate side? Why am I asking that? It means you have already had studies in that particular area. And to my amazing now, you're a sports scientist, you've got a master's, you're moving towards PhD and everything. But I was saying, fine, these things are being integrated. And sometimes people, they just come and begin to comment. Say, fine, okay, these people are like this, these people are like that. But without knowing the foundation that you were actually in such kind of areas, if you are to come now and look back to those years and even up to now, there's better remuneration in those areas than in football, especially in our countries. So how did you manage to integrate those two?
Yeah, it was, I liked it when you said that time playing football was not easy. The parents always took it negatively.
Yes.
For your own information, I used to hide my boots at the next door where a friend used to stay.
Yes. Because
the football boots were not allowed in the house because it was associated with people that did not want even to pay attention to academics.
Yes.
But I'm grateful when I look back, I'm grateful to say also my father insisted on academics, which actually assisted me. So in terms of integration, education and sport, I don't believe they're parallel. These are interwoven, they move hand in hand. Because then when I then got into my first employment, because of that educational background, it then assisted me to get into more social work. And those are the skills that I still relate now and can say they gave me a lot of skills in terms of player management, because you are able to relate to the soul, the human being, in terms of getting to know their challenges and counseling. So that integration was very, very important. Even to the modern day now, you cannot solely remain on one skill and think you could excel in the other. You need to have, you must be multi-skilled for multitasking. You need to be equipped. And each and everything that we learn adds value to probably any current setup. Whether you're into engineering, but if you are in your skills in other fields, suppose human sciences, you are able to manage your subordinates.
Wonderful.